Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence, and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the hottest and top 10 topics, broadcasting live and direct from Zimbabwe, Africa. Apologies for the delayed broadcasting. My PC is playing up. I don't know what's happening there. I think there's something wrong with the graphics drivers there. Anyways, what do? We continue. What do we find happening in Zimbabwe? We are seeing a whole lot of shocking things there. And of course, we are seeing in Mozambique. Mozambique is being rocked by killings of opposition figures. Now we see ZANU PF pulling massive shockers happening now. There's allegations that Magandangas are being trained. We first would see this video. Owen Mudangube.
Hamberi na baba Mnangagwa. Hamberi 2030 Mnangagwa vanenge vachitonga 2030 Mnangagwa vanenge vachitonga pasina mai va Munyaradzi shoko pasinawo
and the pasina mai va Munyaradzi shoko. Now who is Munyaradzi shoko? Munyaradzi shoko is a leader of Children of Zimbabwe War Veterans Association. Right. A few days ago, we saw Newsday write an article which was titled ZANU PF plots protests against ED2030 spoilers. And now, one of the people who was mentioned in this article was Munyaradzi shoko. Here, it reads, Suspended Children of War Veterans Association of Zimbabwe leader Munyaradzi shoko has rallied Mnangagwa's critics to oppose 2030 agenda, quoting angry reactions from the ruling party. That is what we see happening there. And now we're seeing Owen Mudangube, the guy who is infamous for the Pasi Najobo Sikala slogan. This guy makes slogans of all colors. At one time, he would make one directed to Zambia's Joseph Kalibwe. Now, here we see Munyaradzi Alexio Shoko citing that he is not safe here in his post which he makes on his X.com. He trades Zimbabwe. My crime is defending the Zim constitution, which they illegally want to subvert. They are using all possible tactics. Now I'm living in the bush, no home or family. Politics must be a contestation of ideas with the motive to build our nation. This went to personal Minister Owen Nube. Then he would post the video there where we see Owen Muda Nube. They chant the slogan, and the slogan, hey, on its own, it's like a bullet from out a gun. When one would say, Pasi Neyo Mam, imagine. With this one, I am numb. Now, this is not the only ED2030 thing we're seeing. They just come out from nowhere, obviously from somewhere. Plenty. Now singing 2030 in their Emerson. They are not hiding, singing it straight. What was happening here? All right, that is another one. Not the only one. We have then we would see a video showing regalia, and we see the regalia. There is the face of General Chiwenga in military uniform. Now, what is happening here? What would be happening there? So we are seeing many stories surface on that. We're seeing many stories surface on that video there. Now, why would these images be leaked? They are leaked with no context. Rather, we would see some media houses speak on it. Is it substantial, or it was just creative writing? Enough respect to Glotin Kiwani says, but really, why did Chiwenga replace Mugabe with so at least a leader as we have now? Had he not known him, now he has no way to remove him. So far, this is a faction war. Rather, people who are claiming to be affiliated are creating this, and we see this even getting more deeper. It is getting even more deeper. Now we are seeing this ED2030 calls growing louder and louder, and the guys are saying it without even hiding, and even prouder. Now we see a publish following this leaked t-shirts ahead of the party conference, right? Someone would say succession battle lines are drawn. All right, is it succession battle lines or takeover battle lines? Then, defined Chiwenga supporter group throws gauntlet ahead of party conference. What would be cited here? What are these guys here said to be planning? We're going to jump into it right about now. So this would be coming from the Zimbabwe Mail. But remember, the video itself doesn't come with context. Is it a leak, or it's a show of shares that are supposed to be given to whoever they are supposed to be given to? So if we watch the video again, we can discover something. The quality of the types of the shirts, right? And the type of the printing that we're seeing here. And in the sex, are there more shirts and caps in the sex that are showing in the video? Or they're just the ones on top? Why wouldn't the cameraman then showcase what is inside the sex there? We're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 outside. 1, 2, 3, 4 caps, right? Then we are seeing sex, right? 5, 6 shirts, 7, 8 cap, 6 cap, sorry, 7 shirts, 8 cap. Okay, less than 10 of each, right? Black caps there. Anyways, before we find out what these defiant Chiwenga supporters group.
Like today, we've got youth that are in training, but we want to make sure that
this is the Dadaya Youth Service in Zimbabwe Training Camp, Discipline, Patriotism, Voluntarism, Entrepreneurship, School of Discipline. Then we see Minister Tinmark there. What is he saying here?
if they leave Dadaya going back to their homes, there's something that is waiting for them to start doing their own work. We need to capacitate them. So today here we've brought a lot of equipment, mining equipment, carpentry equipment, welding equipment for them to go and start their own businesses.
Now we're talking of equipment. So here we've brought mining equipment, capital equipment for them to go and start their businesses. But wait.
This equipment, it's not for...
Now we're seeing them there in blue or violet berets and brownish looking uniform there in drills, matching drills, showing on the background there. Now we would see a lot of suggestions coming on social media on what would be happening here. But anyways, what is happening here? Let us continue to watch.
For those that are not trained, the equipment that we are going to issue today, it is for those that have been trained. So as soon as they leave here, they must know that there is something that is waiting for them. Because we want to have idle people, they are trained, then they go, they sit, and we create the same problem again. So we want to make sure that if they get their training, they are qualified, they go to the VTCs, they get skills, they get equipment for their skills, and start working on them.
We don't want people to get trained and be idle again because they will create the same problem. What problem? Anyways, let's continue.
Youth must ensure that though proper and full utilization of the equipment, you also create employment for your peers. My ministry, officials will create a tracker that will be used to monitor the proper use of these machines. We thrive to see an empowered youth constituency by 2030. Espoused by the dictates of our Vision 2030 blueprint, which is aimed at making this country attain an upper middle income economy.
All right. So we are seeing this Dadaya training camp. What is Dadaya training camp? What is it about?
Like today,
Dadaya Youth Service in Zimbabwe. Is it the National Youth Service or it is something else? What are these guys being trained here? So before we go there, we find one post on x.com there. What does he say there? All right, not showing here. Anyways, let me just read it. Right there it is there. Okay. One, Majira Jairosi would write, let us wait and see where it ends. The ZANU PF official faction affiliated to the Mafidi family dynasty is training a militia to challenge Magandanga and other section of Zimbabwe National Army military men sympathetic to Chiwenga. Chiwenga has called for ZANU PF to adhere to the constitution. Is this substantial or creative? Then we see this one here. Vice President retired General Constantino Chiwenga does not need to form a faction to contest for power in ZANU PF. He is the sole stockholder and guarantor to the Second Republic. As such, there is no contest to the throne. If he so wishes, he can just claim it back. Simple. All right, one would just write simple. Okay. Then another one would make this post. Come 2028, I'll be voting for General Chiwenga. Then we see again Chiwenga ready. One would make a screenshot of that image of that video where we had seen regalia branded with the VP Chiwenga's face there. What is happening in Zimbabwe and what is about to happen in Zimbabwe?
pasine ka triple C wakati pasine kama akana zvakanokwanisa tinoti munoona kana indai ichitwa nedombo munoisa paruware motsika mokuya mosha kana nhunzi inoshayiwa chekudya hazvibatsire manzwa acho munhu achitaura pano kuti haungoenda uchingoita for the sake of opposing. You can oppose every time. Even the best thing to be done in a country you oppose. Iwe sani. Zvino haiwa takakura saGoriati toda kukaona kana nguva yakwana.
All right, those are the words of VP Chiwenga there. Let me just rewind her.
Pasinika triple C.
Pasinika triple C.
Wakati pasinika
Vamwe wakati pasinika mwega.
Akana zvakanokwanisa.
Akana zvakanokwanisa.
Munoona kana inda ichitswanyiwa nedombo.
Munoona kana inda ichitswanyiwa nedombo.
Munoisa paruware motsika mokuya mosha kana nhunzi inoshayiwa chekudya.
Munoisa paruware mokuya kana nhunzi inoshayiwa chekudya.
Hazvibatsire.
It doesn't help to just oppose and oppose. Just everything, even when good is being done.
Manzwa acho munhu achitaura pano kuti haungoenda uchingoita for the sake of opposing. You can oppose every time.
Look at the comrades standing behind him. Their poses and their stance there. Enough respect to everybody watching us live. To those watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I get CNM so I can give him a shout out. Enough respect over there. Big up to Philakase Malamlela. Good evening over there. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe to TV7 Live if you have not yet already done so that you never miss any of our videos, because we make videos each and every day. Now, let us continue with this.
Even the best thing to be done in a country you oppose. Iwe sani.
Even the best thing done in the country you oppose. Iwe sani, you as who? Wait. Now listen this part here. Anyways, we said we are as big as Goliath. We want to see when the time do come. What was happening here? The context is not clear, right? But rather, the message there says, what effect do these guys have, right? At least let me say, this is my interpretation of this. What is your interpretation? What did you hear here? Now, what is Dadaya? Dadaya.
Like today, doing their own work.
Dadaya training camp. What is it about? That way we see these guys here. Now, I'm just going to go quickly over it. Dadaya Youth Service is part of Zimbabwe National Youth Service Program, and some of the key aspects. Establishment. The National Youth Service Program was launched in 2001 under the leadership of Buddha Gesi, then Minister of Youth, with the objective of instilling patriotism and military readiness among the youth. The Dadaya Training Camp became one of the primary centers for this initiative, located in the Midlands Province. The training focused, the program aimed to provide basic military training to youth aged approximately 15 to 30. Participants were trained in various skills, including discipline and national history. Then there would be allegations that they were being groomed for political violence. we see militarization accusations, political manipulation, and things like that, then the program is shut down. Then it is relaunched. The National Youth Service is relaunched in June 2024 at Dadaya and Vumba training centers. And then the enrollment then was expected to be 1,000 youths. And the government was aiming to revitalize interest in the program by incorporating skills training alongside military instruction. So that is Dadaya training camp there. Then we're seeing Minister Tino Machaka there in that presentation. Now, to the hot stories, what do we find? Defiant Chiwenga supporters group lays gauntlet ahead of the party's conference. Now, this would be reference to a post there by the Zimbabwean male tensions within the ruling ZANU PF party have intensified as General Chiwenga Voluntary Supporters Association GCVSA announced plans to counter recent remarks made by John Paradza and his faction. The GCVSA, representing a coalition of Zipra military veterans, women's association, and youth groups from Bulawayo, Matabeleland North and Matabeleland South, has condemned what it described as reckless and divisive statements made during a gathering in Dadaya. Paradza's declaration that President Emerson Mnangagwa would remain in power until 2030 has been met with fierce opposition from Chiwenga's supporters. The GCVSA accused Paradza's statement of undermining Zimbabwe's democratic principles and attacking the legitimacy of Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, whom the association refers to as Kwenyama, son-in-law. Okay, the group's statement emphasized Chiwenga's leadership qualities and praising his commitment to nation and vowing to stand firmly behind him. Then in a statement, the GCVSA articulated its support for the Vice President CGD and Chiwenga, highlighting his military background and dedication to the Zimbabwean people. General Chiwenga is the leader of the people of Zimbabwe, are rallying behind, and we will not sit idly by as rogue elements like John Paradza attempt to tarnish his name and derail the course of justice and progress. One, I would say, from the GCVSA there. The association further criticized Paradza's faction, described Jesus Christ us. Enough respect to everybody. Bear with me there. My network connection had just went off there. Anyways, we're back again on live. Enough respect to everybody who is watching us live right about now. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Enough respect over there. So to everybody who's watching us live, to those watching us live, you can write a comment in the top chat or in the super chat that I can get CNM, so I can give him a shout out. Enough respect to Filakashe, Malamela, Glot Kiwane, Asangara, everybody who is watching us live right about now. So we're seeing this association there speaking out against, not necessarily against John Paradza. I can't find any words close up, right? So as preparations for these guys, what are they going to be doing? Right, in the final remarks, GCVSA issued a stern warning to Paradza and his supporters, asserting that any efforts to suppress their voices will fail. You will not stand in the way of justice, and you will not deter us from the leadership we seek under General Chiwenga. The GCVSA underscored its belief that Zimbabwe needs a leader with resilience and vision to lead the country through challenging times, positioning Chiwenga as the ideal candidate for such a role. As preparations for the demonstration in Bulawayo move forward, the GCVSA left no room for ambiguity in its support for Chiwenga, rallying behind the slogan Umkwenyana Ngowetu, a declaration that they hope will resonate throughout Zimbabwe as a testament to their loyalty and resolve. Now, on the leaked T-shirts, New Zimbabwe would write saying this, that the ZANU PF annual conference that is set to happen there is said to be a battleground in the power struggle. And this is set to happen between 22 and 27 October this year. So, in a display of growing defiance, Chiwenga's allies, often referred to as the Team General, have produced thousands of T-shirts and caps bearing Vice President's image, the apparel featuring Chiwenga in military features with slogan like Guvea, General Bay, and the hashtag Gudoguru has stirred controversies, particularly over its origins. The T-shirts have a symbol of the deepening rift between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga's camps. So we're seeing another faction of supporters there have printed these shirts. Team General. Now, who is Team General? This name is new to me. Even the other guy is also new to me. It seems these new news are emerging and staging. Anyways, we're seeing also ED2030 stagings there. Flash mobs just coming out from somewhere. But to just put it in nice language, we say coming out from nowhere. That is what we're seeing here. Enough respect to everybody who is watching us live right about now. Then we saw in Mozambique, opposition political figures too got shot by gunmen there, including a lawyer of the opposition leader Valencio. What happened there in Mozambique? Valencio Mondlane, his lawyer and advisor, was killed late Friday night by gunmen in two vehicles who riddled his car with bullets on the main avenue in the city of Maputo. Jesus. So it's gunmen there. So this guy is we say to be the guy who was supposed to lead the contestation of this election in court. Now he go gunned down. So far, there are not much details on this guy down there. But anyways, obviously, this will be noted as political violence. Remember, the Mozambique election results are set to be announced tomorrow. Valencio has been claiming that he won the election, and preliminary results so far in Mozambique show Frelimo winning. Now, today is the 19th of October, where we saw Samora Machel would lose his life in the year 1986. 19 October 1986 is when Samora Machel would lose his life, and we're seeing this happening in Mozambique on the day that Mozambicans and Africa as a whole is commemorating Samora Machel. Samora Machel was a Mozambican military commander and political leader, and he served as the first president of Mozambique from 1975 until his death in 1986. He was born on 29 September 1933 in Gaza province, Portuguese Mozambique. Samora Machel was a significant figure in Mozambique's history, serving as the first president of the country from its independence in 1975 until his death in 1986. He would have been president for 11 years. Now, his early life, he was born into a family of farmers who faced the displacement due to Portuguese colonial policies. His education, he would attend mission schools. Then he becomes a nurse, which would expose him to injustices which were being faced by black Mozambicans under colonial rule. And this experience would fuel his desire for change. Then he would join the Frelimo in 1962. Machel joined the Mozambique Liberation Front, Frelimo dedicated to fighting for Mozambique's independence from Portuguese colonial rule. He received military training in Algeria and quickly rose through the ranks. After the assassination of Frelimo leader Eduardo Mondlane in 1969, Machel became the head of the organization. Under his leadership, Frelimo successfully waged guerrilla warfare against Portuguese forces. Now we're seeing a familiar surname here, Eduardo Mondlane. Eduardo Mondlane. And this opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, is he in any way related to Eduardo Mondlane? Are these related? Remember, Venancio Mondlane, at one point, he would contest as an independent candidate. Now, yes, they are related. There is a relationship between Venancio Mondlane, the leader of opposition, and Eduardo Mondlane, the leader of Frelimo, who would be assassinated just before. In fact, that would lead to the vacancy where we would see Samora Machel taking over. Now, the relationship between Venancio Mondlane and Eduardo Mondlane, family connection. Venancio Mondlane is a descendant of Eduardo Mondlane, who was a prominent revolutionary leader and the first president of Frelimo until his assassination in 1969. However, the exact familial relationship, whether as a son or another direct descendant, is not directly detailed in the search results. Now, the family of Eduardo Mondlane publicly distanced itself from Venancio's campaign, emphasizing that his use of their ancestors' legacy should not be exploited for electoral purposes. They reaffirmed their support for Daniel Chapo. All right, so what we can see from this, they are related but not directly related. There would be a family which claims to be directly related to Eduardo Mondlane. So we see in 1962, after joining Frelimo, Samora Machel, then we see in 1969, Eduardo Mondlane is assassinated. Then Samora Machel would take over the leadership. Then Mozambique gains independence on June 25, 1975, with Machel becoming its first president. He would implement Marxist policies, nationalizing industries and land. Then 1984, there is the Nkomati Accord. He signed the Nkomati Accord with South Africa, agreeing not to support each other's opposition movements amid ongoing conflicts with rebel groups like Renamo, Mozambique National Resistance. Tragic end on October 19, 1986. Machel died in a plane crash in Lebombo Mountains near Mbuzini, South Africa. The crash raised suspicions of foul play attributed to the apartheid regime, although South Africa denied involvement. Machel is remembered as a revolutionary hero who fought for Mozambique's independence and sought to implement socialist reforms. His legacy continues to influence Mozambican politics and the society today. Now, growing up in Harare, my favorite street was Samora Machel, where we would see now they put the Neander statue. In Samora Machel, we saw banks like Stanchart banks there. A lot of newspapers there in Samora Machel, the Daily News, the Tribune. In Samora Machel, there's the Trust Bank, and then there's the pathway there to Queen Elizabeth High. Samora Machel, then we see this. What's the name of this place where journalists may usually drink in? It's a hotel, but it's not a hotel. I'm forgetting the name. There, closer to the passport office, is there. So Samora Machel would be the business center of Zimbabwe, where big things are happening there. That is way before Joiner City is opened. Anyways, Joiner City hasn't really consolidated mainstream businesses. Still, Samora Machel is the big deal. Anyways, I'm going to sign out. All right, about now. I am not running out of air. All right. Enough respect to everybody who was watching us live. Asangaro says 2028 mu Kenya na mu office garwe ku precab farm. Oh. All right. We sing a prophecy there. This is the reason why Mnangagwa keeps youth unemployed. So he can call them this way and pay them to go so they can implement 2030 vision. I don't know about that. I think these youths are doing the things on their own. Okay. We are seeing these guys trying and trying. When they are failing, they are really failing. With that, I'm going to sign out. Dr. Clarence, TV7 Live, Champions Network.